So yes, we're back. It's Sunday morning. It's the 17th, 2021. Last week we could not be here with you guys, and of course I missed you guys. Honestly, I missed you guys. Not talking to you about sports, and of course, a lot have happened. From the backdrop of last week up until this week, but of course, we're bringing in a different segment right now. And the different segment is just about analyzing players that we've seen across board moving or doing transfers in the course of the week. About 3 weeks ago, we had a big discussion about the fact that Christian Eriksen could potentially be moving to Manchester United on a 3-year deal. Eriksen, don't forget, is 30 years old and is one of the best that football have seen from the famous Ajax Academy. And of course, we know what it brings to the table. You can't deny the fact that Eriksen is a talented attacking midfielder. He is also a very good CM. And of course, sometimes he plays from the left front three, which is crazy. And of course, we'll be discussing that in full. I'll be discussing that. Why do I keep using the word we? No, we. I'll be discussing that in full pretty soon, which is going to be a special delicacy for you guys. And of course, there's a Fabio Vieira who looks relatively known that just moved to Arsenal for about 35 million quid from FC Porto. We'll be discussing the guy as well, and don't forget Koulibaly just signed a contract with Chelsea. Raheem Sterling as well just signed with Chelsea. Looks like Chelsea is eating up on the transfer market. Because Conde could potentially be moving to Barcelona. And of course, we need to discuss exactly what is wrong with Barcelona FC. Nobody understands. This club does not have money, and suddenly they are making the transfers for players they potentially don't need. That's the craziest thing about the old transfer saga going down at Camp Nou right now. La Masia is back on the floor. We'll see what Gavi could do. We'll see what Pedri is doing. Ansu Fati as well. Sergio Roberto, amongst other guys from the Barcelona La Masia. But the question that everybody keeps asking is, why do you need these players that you don't need? See, understand the oxymoron and the irony of the whole situation. Why do you need players that you don't need? That's the question on everybody's lips. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be starting with Christian Eriksen. I'll be discussing what Christian Eriksen brings to the table potentially, and considering the fact that you have one of the best attacking midfielders in the whole wide world right now in Bruno Fernandes. What is the sharp contrast between these two guys? How would Eriksen fit into his role with Manchester United? What will he be doing for Manchester United, amongst other things? Don't go anywhere, guys. I'll be right back. So here we go again. Like Fabrizio always say, here we go again. We're talking about still on Christian Eriksen, and the fact that this guy is one of the best that we've seen around, and what he could potentially add to the Manchester United squad going into the new season. We can't. Anybody in their same mind cannot dispute the fact that this is one of the best that we've seen around in the past couple of years. Of course, his time at Inter Milan was a disastrous one, so to speak. And this guy went to into the European Championship with Denmark and came back. Thank God, thankfully enough, he came back from the dead after being dead for about 5 minutes or thereabout. Came back from the dead. Inter, because of the rules in Italy, could not keep him on their books because of this heart failure that he had during the European Championship. He had to go back, of course, leave Italy and look for a new club. And where did he come to? He came back to London, but not, of course, to the Tottenham Hotspur's arena. Went to Brentford, rejigged his career, came back, played pretty well, pretty awesomely well. If you ask me, especially the game against Chelsea, where he was explosive. I will use the word explosive intellectually because he doesn't have the burst of run. He plays with his brains. So, as expected, you see Eriksen with those kind of in those kind of situations, bringing up solutions where you can't even find any. Eriksen did pretty awesome for himself, reestablish himself, and now he's back to the with the big boys in England, and of course, no other big club, probably the biggest club in the whole of England as well. Manchester United back on their books on 3 year on a 3 year contract. But looking at the situation, Eriksen, is he supposed to play as a central midfielder, an attacking midfielder, play from the left hand side of a front three as a left forward or a right forward, or even as a defensive midfielder, or as a false nine? These and more are things that I will be dissecting this morning and telling you about. See how he has gone, what he has done over the course of his career, statistically speaking. Statistics tells you like a quarter, or should I say 3/4 of the story. It gives you 3/4 of the story. Honestly, what you see on the pitch might be different from statistics. Sometimes statistics could be misleading, but in this case, statistically speaking, I will be dissecting Christian Eriksen, the Danish cerebral playmaker. That's how I like to put him this morning. Of course, over the course of his career, he played more for Spurs. He played the most for Spurs, going 305 games for Tottenham Hotspur. But of course, when you know you're playing with Spurs, you probably will not win a trophy. Sorry for the shade, but it could be true. Since considering they've not won any trophy in the last 14 years. Yeah, about 14 years. Maybe more. I'm not sure, but maybe more. 14, 15 years they've not won any trophy. So potentially winning a trophy for you is quite difficult when you're with Spurs. But he played the most for Spurs in the course of his career. 305 games. Solid 305 games. And this guy has 69 goals and 90 assists. And when you compare this guy with the shouts that we have about a player like Mesut Ozil that plays with his brain as well. Very lazy Ozil. Sorry for that, but I need to put it out there. Ozil is lazy, but we know Ozil sees things other people cannot see. He has his eyes behind his head. Every on the part of the body of Ozil is eyes that could potentially give you an extra, But looking at Eriksen, 69 goals for a guy that plays as a left forward sometimes, an attacking midfielder sometimes as a center midfielder, playing with whoever is playing with six in the center of the midfield. This is a very good statistics. 90 assists. Based on ratio, that means he gets an assist every 3 games. Every 3 games, there's an assist for Eriksen. And you look at United last season and you see what they were missing. In terms of possession wise, Eriksen over the course of his career keeps the ball at least 88% of the time. 88% of the time, the ball is with him and he's not losing possession. His pass accuracy is about 95%. That gives you like an untold story about this guy that needs to be studied, honestly. And what does that show you? It shows you the fact that Bruno Fernandes, who happens to be attacking midfielder and the focus of attack for United, loses possession so often. His pass accuracy is not as good as Eriksen's as well, but he has the edge in terms of goals scored over Eriksen. But who creates the ball? Who creates the assist? Who helps? Maybe Ronaldo if he's still there. We don't know what's happened with Cristiano right now, but maybe Ronaldo if he's still there. Who helps Ronaldo to get those goals? Because you don't get the goals yourself. You get the goals through an assist. And this guy could potentially be the difference maker for United in the course of the season. And I know for a fact is for a fact that people are saying are talking about his mental people are talking about his people are talking about his yeah, people are talking about. I lost my voice and my train of thought for a second there. People are talking about his health. That how what are we going to potentially see with Ericsson in terms of his health? Is he going to be able to play at a fast pace atmosphere? But of course, if you play with Brentford, they actually uh, they don't keep the possession often time. So there's more running when you play for a team like Brentford. So if you're United, you play with at the Manchester United, the running side are supposed to do defending will be done pressing. So potentially, we should be able to see that should the physicality or the physical status of Ericsson should not be so much of a bother for us right now. If you ask me, I stand to be corrected. And correct me if I'm wrong. But right now, I don't think his physicality should be much of a problem for us right now. 100%. And so who does it displace in the United team? Is he going to be playing with Bruno Fernandes in the middle of the park, in the 10th position? Is Bruno going to be moving up front and play as a first nine, especially if Ronaldo decides to leave and they don't get a striker in time? We know Antonio Martial, Marcus Rashford are still there, but both guys blow hot and cold every time. We know they have the talent, we know they have the potentials, we know they are good players, but sometimes you're like, oh wow, what's happened with these guys? Because you don't even understand what's happened with those guys. Anyways, so what are we going to be saying? And of course, I was still talking about the statistics for Ericsson. Anyways, before I guess into that. With Ajax, he played 163 games, scored 32 goals, whooping 32 goals, and had 65 assists. With Inter, not not so much of a good story. Had 8 goals and 3 assists in 60 games. While with Brentford last season, he played just 11 games, had 1 goal and 4 assists. That just goes to show you. And this is a guy that moved to Brentford in January of this year, and he was still able to churn out this kind of stats. That goes to show you that dude is ready for the big boys, and he's just 30 year old. He's just a 30-year-old guy. So there's still a whole lot of room for him to improve, a whole lot of things for him to do, a whole lot of potentials that are untapped, a whole lot of things that we will be seeing with Eriksen in the course of the season. So, okay, and looking at his whole career, I said he has played as a defensive midfielder before with Ajax, played 6 games as a defensive midfielder, scored 1 goal and no assist. And as it stands right now, I think his best position would be the attacking midfielder role, where he played 252 games, scored 55 goals, and had 75 assists. In the central midfield role, he played 91 games, scored 13 goals, and had 24 assists. As a left midfielder, he played 78 games, scored 25 goals, and had 23 assists. As a right midfielder, looks like that's not one of his favorite position. Played 55 games, scored 12 goals, and had 23 assists. The assists seem to be consistent. And in a centre forward role, He played 4 games, had 2 goals and 3 assists. And a left wing, as a left winger, played 2 games, no goals and 2 assists. And as a right winger, they played 1 game, no assists, no goal. So if you look at these statistics, what it basically tells you is the fact that Eriksen is more comfortable playing as an attacking midfielder. And I know this is a kind of problem. If I'm Ten Hag, this is the kind of problem I would love to have. I would love to have this kind of problem, because that means at every given time I have a potential of an outlet in terms of what Bruno will bring to the team, in terms of what Eriksen can bring into the team, and and it could potentially be what Wamata could not be for Manchester United. So this is a very good problem, if you ask me. Depending on where Rashford, Antonio Martial end up, Antonio Langa end up before the start of the season, this will give a yard, a room of space. Are they going to be getting Frankie de Jong as well? If they get Frankie de Jong, that brings more problem. As it stands now, they don't have the typical number 6 right now. They don't have the typical number 6, the defensive midfielder. In the defensive midfield role, they don't have a typical number 6. They still have Scott McTominay. They have Fred that could play in that role, but of course we all know that they are not so comfortable in that role. So it gives them, I'll say, a bit of problem in that role. But if Frankie comes, Frankie could play in that role. Not his best position as well, but he could potentially play in that role, break up praise for them, and start attacks for them from deep inside like a Traquista. And that gives the option of playing Eriksen with Bruno. But that's another problem, because when you play Eriksen, Bruno, and a Frankie de Jong in the middle of the pack, that means nobody is defending. Nobody is a good defender. So that gives you a problem. At the same time, you could play on the left in the front three position, where you have Jordan Sancho playing, or Marcus Rashford playing, or an Antonio Martial playing, or he could be playing as the attacking midfielder. Bruno moved to the first 9 position, while Oscar McNamee or Fred plays with Frankie de Jong if they get Frankie. If they get Frankie, that's a big if. But for me, honestly, considering the pedigree of Bruno, wasting possession for all his talent, the way he loses possession is alarming. It's something I don't like. It's something of a big concern for me. I prefer him play in the first 9 role, especially if Ronaldo leaves and Eriksen plays as the attacking midfielder. Or, given Eriksen health condition, we can't overlook that. I'll make Eriksen the new Kanu Wako. Play the last 30 minutes of every game. Whether I'm chasing the game, whether I'm not chasing the game, whether I need to press, whether I don't need to press. I really don't need him to press anyways. So, what is your own opinion about all this? And looking at his list of trophies as well, like I said, throwing sheets at sports before now. 1 Serie A title for him, 3 Dutch leagues for him, 1 Dutch Cup, and 1 Dutch Super Cup. But I want to know what your opinions are. I want to know what you think. Where should Eriksen be playing for Manchester United? For me and my brain, I'm saying the attacking midfield role. I don't care what happens to Bruno. I think it's a compliment. It's a compliment for Bruno. But for you, what do you think? Let me know. Let me know your thought down below. Yeah, so moving on to the north side, not London side of things. I know some people are like, oh, you're going to North London already. I hope it's going to be on the white side. No, it's not the white side, and I'm not apologetic about it. I'm going to the red side of North London, with Arsenal. Arsenal, over the course of since Edu and Ateta took over at Arsenal, running the show at Arsenal, there's been a deliberate effort by this duo to ensure that the players Arsenal signs are within the age of say 21, 22 to 25. Maybe an exception would be Thomas Partey. Understandably so, you still need a hold head in the middle of the pack or in some key positions for Arsenal. But looking at it, we've seen Gilbert Jesus 25, Zechenko that they are being closely linked to 25. Same with Tavares, Kenry Trippier, Ramsday, Tomiyasu, amongst others. You see this they're signing more of kids. Martin Odegaard, Fabio Vieira. We see these guys. They are kids, like young guys that have the upward value, like sell-on value to them, and they could potentially develop to become world class players in the long run, which is intriguing at the same time exciting for me, considering the fact that sometimes, especially most people use the adage when Arsene was the coach of Arsenal, that you can't win with kids. People keep saying it, that you can't win with kids. Alex Ferguson said it, and whatever it is that Alex Ferguson says, you can't throw it to the garbage bin, because he's been there, done that. Seeing knowing what we know about Fergie, we know that he has won practically everything to be won in football, apart from maybe the World Cup. And for every team that you see of Alex Ferguson, you see a potential holded, Steve Bruce, Derek Cantona, Paulista, Laurent Blanc, you know, amongst others. Even in the latter part of his career, you still see players like RVP in his squad, Guy Neville, Ferdinand at the tailhead of their career, and the rest. You know what I'm saying? So I feel sometimes you need the hoodeds, but we're not talking about that. We're not trying to analyze. I'm not trying to analyze the transfer markets direction that Arsenal goes through. No, I'm not about that, and I don't really want to discuss or dabble into that. I'm just trying to discuss a particular player that people tend not to know, including myself. I saw just a glimpse of him before against Liverpool in the Champions League, a couple of games that Porto played. I did not see him on a regular basis in the Portuguese league. So this is an opportunity for you to know a whole lot about Fabio Vieira. Don't mistake him for Patrick Vieira. He's not Patrick Vieira. This is a young 22-year-old guy that could play in different number of positions and is versatile. Um, and of course, not giving you a backdrop of it would be a criminal charge, or criminal mistake by myself. Arsenal's attacking outlet came mostly through Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka last season. I mean, Smith Rowe got a couple of goals. Like, it was the second highest goal scorer in Arsenal, after Bukayo. But with that being said, if you cut out Martin Odegaard and Saka, that's the end for Arsenal. Especially if Thomas Partey is not playing. Partey could still spread and create spaces for those guys to operate in. But without those two guys, in the final third especially, it's difficult. And we saw that a case study of that would be the game against Crystal Palace. at the Soccer's Park second leg, where Arsenal was defeated 3-0. I believe with Patrick Vieira producing a coaching masterclass, cutting out all balls away from Martin Odegaard, ensured that Bukayo Saka was dead and gone for, and ensuring that Ben White, who happens to play from the back for Arsenal, was cut short by Matete as well. So I believe I start to be correct, but I believe Mikel Arteta and Edu Gaspar looked at this and felt, okay, we need a better attacking option. We need more attacking options. And being a disciple of Arsene Wenger will give you that kind of thinking. Arsenal at a point had Robert Pires, Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, Kanu Wako, Wiltord. At the point it was Theo Walker, Santi Cazorla, Jack Wilshere, Mesut Ozil, Alexis Sanchez. Everywhere on the field, there are chances to be created. And when you build a football team like that, you are building yourself for success. And I think that is the reason. I stand to be corrected. This is just my reason. So don't quote me on it like, oh, Adejaye said this. No, Adejaye did not say it. It's just my thinking. I stand to be corrected. You can hold me for my words, but it's I'm not in the head of Mikel Arteta and Edu. Considering the fact that you see them still running after Paqueta right now, I'm like, oh wow, these guys seem to want attacking options across the field, on the bench and across the field at the same time. Because that way, Gabriel Martinelli could be a problem for you, Bukayo Saka could be a problem for you, Nicolas Pepe, we know, as it stands right now, it looks like he would never fulfill his potentials as Arsenal. So probably. So when they have a Paqueta, for instance, they have a Fabio Vieira, they have a Bukayo Saka, they have Martin Odegaard, Gabriel Martinelli, a wide spread of options for them to attack you. So if you are marking out Bukayo Saka, Vieira is doing the damage. When you are marking out the Vieira, Martin Odegaard is doing the damage. When you are marking out the Martin Odegaard, Emil Smith-Rowe could potentially be doing the damage for you, right? So I think it's exciting. If I'm an Arsenal fan, of course I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm an Arsenal fan, so I'm excited. I'm thinking about, okay, now we're going back to the Arsene era. I hope we win trophies with that anyways. So talking about Fabio Vieira, the former Porto boy, now at the Emirates, an attacking midfielder, left-footed, and like I said, statistics could be potentially churning out the number of things that we need to understand about this guy, since most of us don't even say it so often. But you see the way he plays. He is a lanky player, not so big, not so tall. About 1.7 centimeters. I think that's like 5 now, 5'10". So it's skinny too as well, skinny kid as well. But the way he plays to create space for other players. So this could be a potential great addition for Arsenal. By injury, because now we're talking about a foot injury. Is he going to make his debut on time? Will he settle on time for us? Will he be able to settle on time with Arsenal? This could potentially shaping things up in terms of his North London career. But looking overall at the kid, he has a total number of 115 games. So you know this is a kid, a 22-year-old kid with 115 games already under his belt at 22. That's not so bad. He's not a Cesc Fabregas. He's not a generational player that started playing at 17. So with 115 games for him already, that's a good one. He already has 23 goals and 24 assists. So, and he has a goal per minute. That means he scores every 261 games. That's about 4 games, I believe. if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, about 4 games or three and a half games. So he scores every 3.5 games, which is not a bad one. 12 yellows in the course of his career and 1 red card. He's a winner as well. Have about 4 trophies in his cabinet already. So he has the winning mentality. Maybe from Portugal, but of course, a winning mentality is a winning mentality. We've seen that with likes of Pepe, Eda Militao, and the rest. So where is he most effective? And that's the question. And that was what we dissected with Bruno Fernandes, and of course his his potential adversary now, opposite of adversary in the person of Christian Eriksen. So we look at where is most potential. As an attacking midfielder, dude has played 25 games, scored 4 goals, and have 6 assists. As a right midfielder, he has played 23 games, 3 goals, and 3 assists. In the centre midfield role, he has played 16 games, 4 goals, and 3 assists. As a supporting striker, he has played 11 games, scored 3 goals, and assisted 9 times. That's good. As a left midfielder, he has played 8 games, 1 goal, and 2 assists. And as a right winger, 3 games, no goals, and no assists. That tells you the story. And looking at it from the word go, I'm saying playing as a supporting striker, just off a striker, looks like the best position for him. And that's where the problem comes. So that means that's a potential number 10 role. Now, these are questions that we need to ask ourselves. What does his pressing game looks like? Does he press well enough? does he press well enough? So these are questions and select questions that we need to ask ourselves. Does it press enough? Sergio Conceição's team does not play the game pressing, but they play a pressing football as well. And this guy is the guy that is agile. Not just a skillful player. He's agile as well, so he does a little bit of special things in terms of pressing and winning back the second balls. So this could be a great addition for him coming into the team for Mikel Arteta. And of course, this is where he's going to have the biggest and the major problem. Is vying directly against the captain of the team, in Martin Odegaard. Odegaard is a 25-year-old kid as well, but we all know Odegaard brings more celebrity to the team in terms of how he moves the ball and how he controls the game by transferring the instructions of the coach to other players in the team. So playing an Odegaard role could be a bane for this young kid. But of course, I'm pretty sure you don't spend 85 million quids on a player you want to keep on the bench, right? And but looking at the statistics, playing the number 10 role or the Martin Odegaard role looks like the best option, the best place for the kid to play. Looks like the best. Alternatively, since Nicolas Pepe is going to be leaving, that gives you the option on the right side, which is it has been honed by no other person than Bukayo. Bukayo holds the right hand side. Bukayo looks to be the best attacking option. Looking at Arsenal's preseason so far as well, it looks like the best attacking option for Arsenal on your right hand side. So that leaves you with the left hand side. Looking at the left hand side, Martin Odegaard plays. Gabriel Martinelli plays there. Gabriel, for all his industrious move, his final ball, his creation seems to be lacking. I love, and this is my own bias, and there's no disrespect to Martin Odegaard. Why do I keep saying Martin Odegaard? Gabriel Martinelli, no disrespect to him. I like a player with flair. I like a player that can beat 1-2 players with ease. Someone like Wilfred Zaha, Bukayo Saka, Nicolas Pepe when he wants to do it when he's not blowing cold, and amongst other players of that statue, you know. So I strongly feel that playing that role for Vieira could be a better one, while Martinelli competes directly against Gabriel Jesus and Edin Ketia. Looks like a good problem for Arteta already. Or competes directly against Vieira for the left forward. But from what we see of the statistics, the left forward seems not to be his strongest suit. He played 8 games, 1 goal, 2 assists. So it does not seem to be his strongest suit. He's left-footed. Playing on the left forward role is not going to be superb for him, because that means he costs more to his right, which happens to be his weaker foot. Unlike playing on the right, cutting to his left leg, which is his stronger suit. So for me, it looks like a good problem for Arteta already. You have potentially a guy that can replace Martin Odegaard in case of injury, suspension, or the rest. You have a guy that gives you a better outlet, especially the days when Saka is being found, quote and unquote. I hope you understand what I mean by being found. That means he's not playing very well. And you have a more cerebral guy, because this guy looks smarter in terms of the usage of the ball than Bukayo Saka. I don't understand why defenders don't get what Bukayo brings to the table, honestly. Because Bukayo is going to do just one thing. Bukayo is going to cut to his right and do a couple of step overs, provide an assist, or try to shoot. That's what Bukayo does. But sometimes you know what the player is going to do. You know what kind of work is going to do, but you can't stop him. So sometimes some players are just unstoppable, whether on their day or not their day. They're just like that. So it's a good one, a potential replacement for Martinelli as well. Not his best position. I would prefer. Oh, God, that's gonna be so difficult, because you have a Granit Xhaka that has to play, because Granit Xhaka brings a balance to the team, even though he's very eccentric. It brings a balance to the team, and you have a Thomas Partey that is like the first guy on the team sheet. So, what's your opinion? Where do you think Fabio Vieira will be playing for Arsenal? He hasn't made his debut yet, but we've seen a little glimpse of what he can do, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited. This is a young, talented and cerebral players. I like cerebral players. That's why I'm choosing Fabio Vieira and Christian Eriksen as my focal point today. My name is Ladija Adebowale. Still this season star. We will be segmenting these guys and showing you what they could potentially bring to the table. We've done Christian Eriksen, check. We've done Fabio Vieira, check. Now we have to look at Raheem Sterling and Koulibaly. Don't go anywhere till we see you again. Bye bye, guys.